Today, we're going to actually take a peek at getting TrendNet's, one of their NVR systems, up and running and getting it ready to accept cameras. At the end of the video, I will actually show at least one camera running on it, just to verify that everything is good to go. But let's go ahead and get into it. Hey guys, welcome to GeekSmart. And so TrendNet actually was kind enough to send me over a couple things. One of their things is this 8-channel NVR. So it's a net video recorder. It records over from IP-based cameras, in this case PoE-based cameras. On the back of the unit there are 8, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Ethernet jacks that power and connect to 8 various cameras that you can have around your house for security. They were also kind enough to send me over one of their cameras to test out as well. That will be in a separate video, the installation of that guy. But to get started, I wanted to get this guy in my makeshift rack that I have, but this also does not come with a hard drive installed. So this is going to kind of go over the pre-setup of the security system. So this is kind of step one. This is going to be a multi-stage setup video. Let's get into this guy. Let's get the hard drive mounted in it. Let's get it powered up. Make sure everything's set up while it's here in my office. And then we're going to actually go ahead and mount it into my box or my cage that I have in my utility area. So let's bring the video in. Let's get this guy opened up. Let's look at what comes with it. Let's put a hard drive in it. So let's first look at the accessories. This is the accessory box that came with the actual unit. And then we'll look at the unit. So I popped this guy open. Oh, it did come with an instruction book. I did take it out. I think I have it over my computer. So inside this bag there's also a larger instruction book. There is some IDE, or serial ATA cables there. Ethernet cable there, HDMI cable there, Molex power adapter there. Oh, rack mounts, I definitely want to use that for sure. It does come with a cheap little mouse. Set that off to the side. Screws for mounting the hard drive, power cable, remote. So that's all the accessories that came in the box. I mean, like I said, other than the instruction book, which I took out and looked at briefly real quick just to take a peek. This is the hard drive I'm going to be putting in, which is actually the hard drive I pulled out of my iMac when I changed it over to a solid state drive. So this is a 1 terabyte Seagate. So we're going to use that guy. But let's look at the actual unit itself. So you see on the front that we actually have the channel buttons or the number buttons here, directional pad there, USB in there. I haven't played around with this at all, so this is kind of new to me. We also, back here we have our like I said, our 8 PoE camera injectors there. We have audio out, I believe, VGA, HDMI, USB 3 with LAN. Obviously we're going to connect this to my network, and then power. Now you don't have to connect to the network technically, but if you want to be able to access your cameras remotely, you're going to need that. So to open this bad boy, and that's basically what I looked at the instructions for, there's 2 screws. One here, and actually you can kind of see, you can see it's attached to the black here and here. So those 2, actually there's 4. There's 2 more here. Oh no, I think, yeah, I think it's all 4 of those that we have to remove. So we just pop those out real quick, just a Phillips. Okay, so now we should be able to slide this cover off. I believe this is what they said, but I see 2 more screws up here and 2 more screws over here, and I can't see how that's going to come off without removing said screws. Yeah, so I'm going to remove those as well. So there's 2 on each side essentially. And now it just slides backwards and up and off. So yeah, we have to, there's a total of 8 screws you have to remove to get that cover off. Now we're in a spot where we have access to the entire stuff, and there are 2 hard drives that can be mounted in here. I'm only going to be mounting one, so that's this guy right here, and essentially it's going to mount kind of like that. So there are, you can see the 4 holes here. It looks like they actually have it, so you can, there's the little bag of screws. I'm only going to need 4 of them. We'll leave the other 4 in there, so for the next hard drive, if I need to add another one. I'm going to flip the drive over upside down here, and I'm just going to actually see if I can do this where I can loosely put it on there and then slide them into place, and then flip it over. Okay, so I have them just loosely placed in there, because you can see how they actually have the openings. So I'm going to go ahead and put it into place. Let's see if I can slide it into place. It's kind of halfway there. It's not moving. So if we look from the bottom and see where the screws are, they kind of went. They just need to, I may need to take them out just a little bit, which of course they're probably going to fall out then. So maybe that didn't work properly. Oh no, yep, just take them out just a little bit. So I screwed them in just a hair too much. But at least it helped me line everything up, made it easier in that remark. Sorry I'm not showing this on the camera. I just didn't even notice that I didn't have it on there. So once I loosened them up a hair, the whole thing slid over, and now I have them, so they're actually in their grooves. So let's flip it back over. That's my fault. Alright, so we need to get power to this guy, and then we also need to get the serial ETA connectors to this guy as well. So let's pull open one of these guys. Now of course you could do this prior to mounting, but it's really not that hard of a thing to slide that into there. And then, let's see, I don't know which one's 1 or which one's 2, but this one I would say goes to this guy, so it doesn't really matter, but that's how it's going to go for me. Plug that into there. And then we have the power adapter, which powers both drives actually. So it's just a split. It goes from the Molex, there's the output right here for power. So we plug that in there. Make sure it's set down good. And then put this guy down. Alright. And then just slide that guy onto the drive. So, now if I was really picky, I'd probably Velcro this down or zip tie it down or whichever, but right now I think this will work just fine. So there we go. We're just fine. Now, we have the drive in place, it's secured, it's plugged in. We're going to go ahead and let's make sure we put it on correctly. Let's put the cover back on. So you put it over, and then we're going to slide it forward. It should put the screws back in. Now I'm going to actually not put the front screws back in yet, because I'm going to actually put that mount on there. So I'm going to put just the back ones on first. So if you were just setting this on a desktop or something like that, or on a shelf or something, you would go ahead and put those 2 screws here and 2 screws on the other side. Like I said, I'm going to actually mount it in a rack. At least that's my current plan. Hopefully it fits good. We're going to find out. So I'm going to use these. So these 4 screws that I pulled out are shorter, and thus won't be used anymore. And I'm going to put my rack mount on here as well. So they kind of just go on like that. I'll do that real quick. We'll fast forward to this one. Okay, we are all set. I have my mount plates on. I have everything here. I got my power cord, And I've got everything else I need, I think. So what we're going to do is actually, rather than go ahead and go mount this, we're going to take this over to my monitor I have over there. We're going to plug the HDMI cable into the monitor. We're going to turn this thing on. We're going to take a peek at the operating system, see what it looks like, see if I have anything to set up, see if I need to format the hard drive within there as well. And then we'll go do the mounting. So, step 2, I guess. Alright, so first off, before we get started, I will say, you do need to supply your own batteries for the remote. So I haven't started yet, but I checked the remote, and yeah, no batteries, of course. I got my monitor here, and I have everything plugged in, so it's just HDMI to the monitor, power to the wall, and then behind on the back, where the power comes in, there is a switch, so we're going to click that. Oh, she comes to life, and I'm assuming the monitor should kick on automatically because it is set to HDMI, but we'll give it a second to turn on. Okay. Now, of course, I don't have any cameras hooked up to this right now, and I apologize for the recorder going in and out. Alright, so, admin, new password, confirm password. Well, I have my Mac keyboard, my wireless keyboard actually. I plugged in my lightning cable with the USB, excuse me on that, into the USB slot just by the LAN input. And I'm going to go ahead and put in a password. That's good. Device is activated. Now, I guess you could have done it with the remote too. It just would have taken longer. You just go to the right and do it that way. I just have a keyboard here handy, so it would make it a little bit easier. Apply English. Start wizard when device starts. Sure, hit next. I'm going to go up, change that for me to Central Time. Hit next. Just makes it easier with the keyboard, I will say that. Network type, currently, it is not, I do not have a connection to network right now. So I'll just enable the DHCP, so when I do plug it in, you can always come back to this server port, HTTP port, that's fine. Alright, so let's click on, what do we do? Initialize maybe? Oh, select the item first. How do I select? That's the question, right? Aha! 0 or A. So it's kind of funny. On the actual, I can't find a key that'll actually do it from the remote, and that is really getting annoying. Oh, yep, record. Or menu button. That's what it is. Okay, so how you do this is you go up and you have it highlighted. You hit the enter button on the remote, and then you can see there's a yellow line around it. You hit the menu button on this remote right here, which is right next to the 0, and you can check it, right? And so I have it checked, so then I hit enter again, and then I can come down to initialize. And yes, I want to erase that guy. So you can actually hear it kick up. It is initializing. Alright. Hit next. Next. Right now I don't have any cameras. And okay. And so there we are. We are initialized. We're essentially ready to mount this guy and then eventually obviously add cameras. Now, that's what we're going to do next, is get this guy mounted, get it all powered up, getting it ready to receive cameras, and then we'll on a separate video, we'll actually put a camera. But before the end, I will show you what the camera looks like on this. I did want to show you what that on-screen keyboard looked like. So if I hit the menu button, you have to log in. And if I go up to the password, and I hit the enter button on the remote, then I can cycle through and use the on-screen keyboard, including shift key, and do that. And then if you want to leave the keyboard when you're done, you hit the escape key on the actual remote, and it'll back out, and then you can do whatever. So just wanted to show you at least what that looked like. So here's my network rack in progress as I continue on, keep on keeping on, right? I have the NVR here system. I basically put it into my rack. You can see that it is powered up. What I did is I actually have a single camera from TrendNet that I'm going to show you here within the video. So it is plugged into the first port. I still have some work to do with some wiring, so that's why these are just laying here right now. Right now I have an HDMI cable that's going over to my computer display so I can see it remotely. I also have a USB cable. This is a 30-foot or whatever USB extension cable, so I can plug this into my computer as well, and or into my keyboard, so I can actually control it remotely as well with the keyboard. And then I have network connection going to it. So that's what the back looks like. They're all wired up as I currently have it. So yeah, let's go look what the interface looks like now that it's up and running. Alright, so this is my monitor now that it's plugged in with the HDMI cable. It's in the rack in the other room, but even though I have a keyboard out here, I can't actually do anything with this until I go back there with the remote and hit the menu button, which is really annoying. Let me hit the menu button quick. Okay, so here we are. We're on the screen. We're on the admin screen. After I just hit the menu button back there, I'm on my keyboard now. I have a Mac keyboard. The cleared button is actually the numlock button because it is based on Windows, or at least Windows keyboards. So I think that's what I had for a password. Yeah, it's really annoying when it does the on-screen keyboard. Okay. There we go. So now we're actually in the actual menu itself, directly out of the box, which I can, go to the playback button, and it's really annoying if I had a wired mouse, I could actually get around with this a lot better. Playback. Oh, it's not playing back. Oh, geez, I don't have any channels selected. And of course, it's different when you have a keyboard when you're trying to figure out what button does what, right? And that's the problem with this whole thing. I did notice that when I first set it up, I did have to go through here and I did have to format the drive. I did initialize it before, but you do want to actually go in and actually format it. You can see all the information, how much space is actually used. It's using the entire thing because I've been using it now for a little bit. So that's what that looks like there. And I'm just hitting escape to go back out here. So you can go through any of these configurations. I found that this interface is pretty poorly designed in my opinion, but it's simple, right? It's simple enough. Let's actually go to the computer side and access this from IP base. Now I will say this: what's your IP base? IP? Well, I believe it's under configuration. If we go to network, we can get that IP from here. So we're 192.168.10.60. So that's going to be the IP that we're going to have to put in on the web browser. Now, you will have to use Internet Explorer. You do not have an option. It does not work on Mac. It has to be a Windows computer running Internet Explorer. Not Edge, not Firefox, not Google Chrome. Internet Explorer, which let me tell you how much I love that. But let's get into that. So I did actually go through real quick, and I just redid the enable DHCP client. That way I got a fresh IP address to make sure I'm good on this one. So as you notice, the IP address is going to be a little bit different than what it was just a second ago, but new router, to be honest, so that's why. So let's head over to my computer to show you that. So I'm on my Mac right now just to show you what it actually would look like if I go to 192.168.86.71. I'm going to get the login screen. Now, I'm going to log in real quick with just admin and then my new password. Let me do that real quick. Hit login. Nah, you don't have to do that. And so in here it says no plugin detected, right? There is no plugin that will work on a Mac at all. No matter what browser you use, you will not get it to work on a Mac. It sucks. So let me restart into Windows. Okay, so here we are on Windows. We're going to go ahead and open up Microsoft Edge first, and just to kind of prove a point, we're going to go to 192.168.86.71 and open up that, and we're going to put in our admin and our password. And just like on the Mac, we're going to get the same thing, except for we're going to actually have something that we can click this time. So let's click here to install plugin. Let's hit run. It's going to run security scan on it. Oh, let's bring it up. Finish. And refresh, it doesn't do it. It will not work on Edge. It won't work on anything other than Internet Explorer. That's just what it is, and it's because it's using an old archaic architecture that is no longer supported. So Internet Explorer, on the other hand, this is what it's going to look like on here. Let's go to 192.16. There we go. All right. Boom. Actually, I already had it loaded in here, to be honest. But what happens is you get the exact same thing as we saw in Edge, where you have, oh yeah, click on that, you hit run, you hit yep, it installs, and boom, off she goes. And she runs just great. And so in here, and I'm not going to go through every single bell and whistle in here, but you can see this is what my Porsche looks like right now. It is nighttime. It's almost 9 o'clock. And so we only have one camera currently connected, so that's the live view that we're seeing. Playback, we can actually look at and you can actually see this entire thing, but on the left hand side I can hit playback of the camera that I have, which should place it in here. Oh geez, hit play, there we go, there's a little play bar button down here, and so you can see that one's playing up there, and you can if you had multiple cameras, that it would look better. So that's tonight on August 4th. If I actually go back here, I can go back, well, it's probably back into June. Yep, back into June already. Let's just go to like July 15th, and I'm going to hit pause here. I think you have to pause this no matter what. July 15th, and then down here I can actually set a play time. Let's say at, let's just say 10 a.m. 10 o'clock. Boom. And so let me double click this. And we're playing right now. Oh, yep, we are. This is July 15th, Wednesday, 10 o'clock a.m. And that's what my porch looked like at that time. Looks like my daughter was cleaning. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple, how it operates. I'm going to hit escape and I'm going to back out. You can actually go into the advanced tab up here, and we can actually set, go through your camera counts, to go to the time settings, daylight savings times. You can actually go through your network settings, just like we did on before. But you can see it right in here. It's a lot easier to mess around with on here than it is with just the basic stuff, in my opinion at least. You can change the ports. We can go to video, change the resolution, what kind of bit rate, things like that. We can go into text overlays, the stuff that's on there. We can go to privacy mask if we want to put something where we don't want to see something on the video. We can go into events and put in areas that we want to block out. We don't want to worry about if things constantly move there like these hanging plants do. Well, I don't want events charted all the times, or if you want to have events based on video tamper, if you want an email sent to you every time. There's a lot of things you can do, and then alarms, and then storage. We can actually see that hard drive in there, how much, basically there's no free space because we're already filling it up and we're rewriting over the existing stuff. So obviously if you had more cameras, you might want more than 1 terabyte that I have in there now. Under system we're back to here. Under basic is just the basic stuff. We can see logs. Let's see, we can actually pull up logs, I guess. Never really did that. Playback under system, it'll tell you the information on the actual system. So that is, in a nutshell, the web access, at least portion, of the TrendNet NVR. So that is my install of the TrendNet NVR208, TBNVR208. Not to say that it wasn't without some hiccups. It took me a little bit longer to get everything filmed than I anticipated. And while this is not a review video, I'm not trying to review this product. I just wanted to do the setup and show you the process and the steps necessary that I did it. I do want to actually point out a few things that I think are necessary to know prior to purchasing or doing the install on this. One, the system itself and putting the hard drives in, fairly straightforward, fairly easy. Powering it up, plugging it in, fairly straightforward, fairly easy. Getting it connect or set up with the little remote, kind of a joke. Plugging in a keyboard definitely made it a lot easier. And the system that is shown on screen is archaic. It's old, right? It really is. It needs updating. It needs updating bad. And I wasn't a big fan of it. The big thing for me is the necessary need of using Internet Explorer, and that is your only option. I don't like only options, specifically in terms of these kind of products. So yes, I have access to Windows and I can use it, but I hate going into Internet Explorer. I'd love to be able to use Firefox or Chrome. I'd love to be able to use Safari. I'd love to be able to use any browser other than Internet Explorer, and that's a big killer to me. So while this is not a direct review of it, it's just something that I definitely wanted to bring up here at the end of the install video. Now, my review video is going to go in depth into what I do and do not like about this. So make sure you watch that. That's coming soon. So that's going to be over on my Tech Gooch channel. I will put a link down below when that is ready. So if you have any comments or questions or anything about the setup on this, definitely comment below or head over to techgooch.com. You can contact me directly. But I do want to say thank you for TrendNet for sending this over to me to do this video on. I think there's a lot of work to be had on making these products better. So that's just me. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking on the video, commenting, sharing it if you can. So otherwise, we'll catch you back here on GeekSmart for another video install. So see you soon.